Welcome to the stream, everybody. We're just going to be playing a few rounds of chess just to relax a bit, and then probably later we're going to do a bit of React. So for the first few rounds, I'm just going to be playing against the computer so that I can, get a few wins in my belt before we continue. Uh, how did you not do that? Ah, damn it. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. uh, this should be a checkmate, and there you go. Oops, or not, and checkmate. don't like this opening. Hmm. Then we'll take this. Wow. That's not a fair trade. Huh. Checkmate. Okay. Think it's time to play. I don't like these openings. The openings with the queen, I don't like them. Excuse me. Oh no. I just exposed my rook. Let's go back. Oops. That was not what I wanted. This guy, man. This guy. I've lost this game. No. I lost that game. Really? Really? I hate the openings that start with the king. Oh man. Anyway, that's okay. Let's play one final match and then we can get to some bit of programming. Just a bit. I'm losing my edge. Losing my edge. He'll take this or not. And then I'll take this. can take this. He'll take, he'll take my queen. Now is this safe? Let's trade. Let's see. Oh no. I did not see that. This is done. Yep, okay. I think that's enough. That is enough. So actually what I wanted to do in the first place was to continue with what we were building in the other video about Microsoft, where we just built the Microsoft homepage. As you can see, this is what we built in the other video. If you didn't see it, it's somewhere in my playlist, in my React playlist. You can go and check it out. So since then, there are things that I have done. There are a few things I've done. One of them including creating some data arrays for the other pages for the Microsoft clone, which you can find at the repository Microsoft clone. You can see I created the deals page data, the home page data, which we won't really use because this is what we were using for this build. And the images, I separated the images so these are for the home page, this is for the Microsoft page, this is for the Office page, the support page, and this is the data arrays for each page. Now notice that these were created quite a while ago, so it might be different from what is currently on the Microsoft website right now. Okay, so you can just check it out. So this is what is currently on the Microsoft website, and as you can see already, some of the images have already changed. They have been changed or updated. This slide has been updated as well, as you can see. So what I want to do in this video is to do this page, the Microsoft 365 page. So a very simple page, and we won't really be doing this because I don't have this video. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to create this grid, and the footer is already there, so we won't need to create the footer. And then we will need to just add this heading right there, and then the showcase. So that's very simple. Once you've cloned this, the first thing obviously that you'll need to do is to just clone this, and I've already done all these steps and I opened them somewhere right there. So the first step that you'll need to do is clone the actual repository where we did our last project. So this is the link to the repository, and let me just copy it and paste it in the chat right there. So this is the link for the actual repository, right? And then for the setup files for the images and the data arrays, this is the link. So it's called Microsoft Clone, and it's what I have open in this tab right here. So the repository is called Microsoft-Clone. And then once you do that, you'll notice that if you try and run npm start, nothing will work. In fact, it will throw you an error. So in order to fix that error, all you have to do is install the node modules, and you can do that by just saying npm install. Okay, and now one thing that we're going to do is install React Router DOM so that we can deal with our routing in between the pages. So from Microsoft, where's our right there? So from the home page, I want to be able to click this, which will take me to this page that we're going to create in a moment. So in order to get started, the first thing that I'm going to do is install React Router DOM, because I've already done all of this, right? So I'm going to, and as you can see, I already have my development server running with a few warnings, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is create a new terminal right there, and I'm going to say npm install react-router-dom, which will install React Router DOM in our package.json. It will appear somewhere there once it's finished. And then let's just get straight away to building, because we already have right. So I am going to go inside my source folder. Actually, I've just noticed something, that this says React app. I want to change this title. So inside my index.html, I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to say Microsoft clone, like that, which will change the title, or at least it should change the title. I don't know why it's reloading so much, but it will change the title. So once we do that, okay, there it is, Microsoft clone. So once we do that, I'm going to go inside my source folder, and I'm going to create another folder, a new folder, and call this pages, just so that we can separate the components, the data, and the pages, so that it doesn't become, you know, so congested, as you can see. So inside this pages folder, I'm going to create a new component called Microsoft.js. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. what we need actually is just for the showcase. So I'm going to call this, let me rename this, and I'm going to call this showcase.js. Now notice that this showcase.js is coming from the pages folder. In our components folder, we also have a showcase, or not, we have the hero. Okay, that's fine. But you can have the same name but in different, in different parts, and it will still work. So inside this showcase, let me just check where my image was, and I've not yet imported my images. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the application a bit because I want to separate all of these out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab everything inside this images folder, right? Grab it like that, and I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to create a new folder inside my images and call this folder homepage, like that, and then just paste everything inside here so it will move the images into the homepage, and our application will break just a bit. See that? So I'm going to create another folder inside my images folder, so make sure you're inside the images. So inside the images, I'm going to create another folder called Microsoft, like that. Now this folder, the Microsoft folder, will contain the images for this page, right, which we have cloned somewhere. Where is it? Right here. Let me place this to the side, and it is called images Microsoft right there. So I'm just going to say all of this, going to copy all of this, so copy, and then inside my Microsoft page I'm just going to paste them in like that. So that's currently everything that we need from this, so you can just close this down. And then in my showcase, what do? I need this image first of all, right? So let me just see what this image is called. It's called the hero. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Let me see, where's my images folder? I'm going to need to separate these once again, just as I have done above. So inside this images folder, I'm going to grab everything, cut it out, and then create a new folder and call this homepage, and then paste these images inside so that you can close this. And then inside this images folder, once again, I'm going to create a Microsoft folder like that, so that I can go up to this Microsoft and I can copy this and just copy this. I'm not going to be using the 539 for the mobile screen, it's not really necessary. And then inside this Microsoft, I'm just going to paste it in like that, so that we have this image which is equivalent to this. Now you'll notice that our application breaks because it doesn't our paths have changed, so we need to update a few things in my app.js right there. Is it in my app.js? Not in my app.js. This says Game Pass. So in my components folder, I have a Game Pass. So this should be coming from home page like that, and it should reload and it should throw me the next error, which should be coming from you know what, I know the reason for this. The reason for this is because in my index CSS we need to update these parts as well. This is coming from home page like that. This is coming from home page. Let me just copy this, paste it there. Okay, that should do it, but it says hero 539. Didn't I fix that? I thought I did. Let's see, in my hero, this is coming from home page like that, and then the logo from the header coming from home page once again, and then this holiday right there coming from home page again. And then once we reload this, then okay, so everything works, but everything doesn't work still because we need to update our paths just a bit more. So let's do that. If we go inside our data arrays, for the footer, do we have any images? No. For section 1 we have images, so right here we need to update this part as well to say it's coming from the home page slash Xbox, like that. So I'm going to grab all of this using Control D, right, and then just after them I'm going to just paste that in, and it should fix for the section 1, this right here, it should fix this, as you can see. And then if I go into section 2, I'm going to grab this once again and just say Control D, and then place my cursor there and then just paste that in. We should fix this for section 2, and then the same for this section right here. For section 3, grab this, just say Control D, and then paste that in, and once you reload, then this should show right there. Okay, so I think everything is working fine now, and we can begin to work on our routing. So let me close this, close everything dealing with the home page, and we can remain with showcase. So I think this has finished running. So if I check in my package JSON, you'll find that we have React Router DOM present right there. So if I go back into my app.js, where's my app.js? Close this. And if I go into my app.js, then we'll need to import a few things from React Router DOM. So I'm going to say import browser router, and give it an alias of router, and then import the route, and this will be coming from React Router DOM, like that. And then I want all of these. Now notice that all these components that we created last time are all present in the home page, right? So what I want to do is I want to cut this out, and then I want to create a route like this, give this path of / and an exact prop that I'm going to explain in a moment, and then just paste all of this inside. And then to cover everything that is inside here, I want to wrap everything inside the router that we've just imported. So right there I'm going to say router, because these routes won't work outside of the router, they will always throw an error. Now notice that I've left the footer and the header outside of this. The reason is because I want the header to always appear and the footer to always appear no matter the route that we are navigating to. Okay, so notice that the route takes in a path prop, which just indicates the path that will be shown in the address bar, and then it also takes in an exact prop. Now the reason for this exact prop is so that it makes sure that only when the / is navigated to, that is when it will show these components. Otherwise it will show other components which we're going to create for the route for right now. So we are dealing with the Microsoft page, so I want to create a route like that, and the path for this will be going to / Microsoft, like, let me say Microsoft 365, I think that's it. Yeah, Microsoft 365, okay, 365, like that. And then right inside here I'm going to show my showcase component, which we haven't imported and which we haven't really created. As you can see, it's empty, so I need to first import this. So I'm going to just go here and I'm going to copy and paste this, and then just change this to showcase. And remember, this is now coming from pages, it is no longer coming from components. So once we do that, I can go inside here and say RAFCE, like that, and just say showcase to see if it works. And then once I save this and I go back into my application, nothing happens because we haven't created the link for it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my header.js, into my, where's my header, my components folder, then header.js. And then for this link right here, this is the link that we're working on currently. I'm just going to go inside this, I'm going to grab this, so cut it out, and then I'm going to place a link prop. Now the link prop is coming from React Router DOM, which you have just installed. Okay, so this link prop, the link component, sorry, takes in a to prop that goes to / we want this to go to, what route did we create in our app.js, to this path, right, Microsoft 365. So Microsoft dash 365, and then for the text we just want to say Microsoft 365. So once I save this, I actually need to import this. So let me import it, and I'm going to say import link. Now link is a named import, that's why you see curly brackets, and this is coming from react-router-dom. Once I save this, and now you'll notice that when I hover, it's no longer this cursor that you see right there. Instead, it's a pointer, as you can see. So once I click this, then we should see showcase. And now notice that the header appears and the footer also appears, which is why I actually left them outside of the of our routing, as you can see. If I was to put this inside my home page only, you'll notice that it will disappear from here, but I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to place it outside of everything like that, and it appears. So now let's begin to deal with our actual showcase. Okay, so in my showcase.js, I want to return a fragment first of all, like that. And then inside this fragment, I want to return a section with the class of showcase. Let me see what I named this in the hero. I named this what? Hero. Okay, that's fine. So I want to return a section with the class of showcase, like that, and then I want to return a div with the class of overlay. The reason for this I'm going to explain in a moment. Now you'll notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I can just do this. So what we're going to do is we want to return an H1 saying Microsoft 365, and then we want to return a paragraph saying this, and then we just want to return, I'm going to place this as buttons so that React doesn't throw us an error in our console. Okay, so let me do that. We are going to return an H1 saying Microsoft 365, and then a paragraph saying this. So I'm just going to copy it, paste this in, and then I'm going to return another div. Okay, this is a div with a class of overlay. I don't want this. I want this to be inside a div, right? And then another div here. Oops. Another div with 4 buttons, so button times 4, like that. And then this will be for home, business, enterprise, education. For home, let me copy this. Business, enterprise, education, like that. Now if you remember, while we were building the home page for this, we were using Tailwind CSS, which is very nice, but before I begin to use Tailwind, I want to show this background image first of all. So I'm going to go into my index CSS right here, and then I'm going to target my showcase class. Right, where did I place the hero? Interesting. That's okay. So let me do this. Let me just go above this, and I'm going to say for my showcase class, I want the background to be URL. And remember, we brought in the image. Remember, we brought in the image. Oops, the image is this hero.jpg. So I'm going to say this will be coming from, it will be coming from /images/Microsoft, and it's called hero.jpg. Set the background repeat to no repeat. Set it to position center and background size cover, and then set this height to, let's say, 400 pixels. And then for my showcase, and I want the overlay class, I just want to give this a height of 400 pixels, like that. And then we're going to begin to style it further in our what's it called, in Tailwind CSS, and you can see everything appears as it should be, right? So let me just bring this to the side just a bit, right about there. So let me just place it like this. It's much easier. And then inside this overlay class, I'm going to give this a class of flex using Tailwind. That happens, so I'm going to say flex column, like that. And then I'm going to say items center, which will bring it down to the center like this, oops, or not, and then I'm going to say justify center, which should bring it down like that. Okay, and then for this h1 I want to give this a class name of text center, font bold so that it's bolder, and then text 3xl or 4xl so that it's bigger like that. Let's give it a margin bottom of 3 so that it separates out from the paragraph. And then for the paragraph here, I'm going to say give this a class name of margin bottom 5 so that it pushes down from this, so this looks fine. And then for this, finally for this, you know what, I've just noticed that the laptop doesn't appear here, so let me go back into index CSS and change this to right instead of center like that. That looks much better. Or does it? Let me give the overlay a background color of RGBA 255, 255, 255 and 0.5 so that it appears like this. And then let's tell the buttons. So the buttons will all have the same styling, so I just want to grab all of them like this. Give this a class name of BG Blue Dash 500. Give this a margin on the X of 3 so that they separate out. Give this a border white or border. What's the class for this? Border. Okay, let's give it let me reduce this margin, let's say margin 2, and then let's say padding on the Y of 1 and padding on the X of 2 so that the words go inwards just a bit. And then we're going to fix this in a moment, don't worry. Let's see what are we missing. This, the text should be white, so text white. Let me select this and say text white, and then font bold like that, and then let me say tracking wider so that it increases the letter spacing like that. And then inside this div I'm just going to say give this a class name of flex, and then let's say items center, and then let's say not item center but flex column like that so that it goes in column form like that. And then inside these buttons I'm going to say margin on the Y of 3 so that they separate out from one another. That's too big, let's say 2 or 1. That's looking nice, and that is that. Now you'll notice that on bigger screens we need to change this flex direction to column. So inside this I'm going to say that on medium screens let's let the flex go back to row, and this will happen. So this looks nice. We just need to increase the header for this, and maybe the paragraph is fine. So let me say for the header for my H1 right here, I'm going to say that for large screens I want the text to go to 6XL, which is bigger, like that. Looking very nice. So what do we need to do next? We just need to create this header, and then we need to create this. And actually this looks like it's more or less tied to this, so I don't want to return an H1 just with this one paragraph, so one heading. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create this directly. Okay, so learn more about Microsoft 365. So inside my inside my pages, right, I'm going to create you know what, I've just realized that I would need to separate this out later as well, because I want these pages to be named. For example, I want this, let me create a new folder and call this Microsoft _page, so that I move this inside, which will mess with everything once again, as you would expect. Let's see, right there, which means that in my app.js I will need this to come from I need to go out of pages, right? No, let's see, showcase is coming from pages like that, and then Microsoft page, and then showcase like that. So that should fix it, and that does fix it. What do I want to do? The reason why I have this structure like this is because I think I'm going to create the office page next in another video, in a separate video, as well as the windows and everything else really. What do I want to do? I wanted to create this, so let me see where does this our data come from. Oh, we still need our data. Let me just open it. Let me say cd into my desktop, and then cd into Microsoft _clone, and then just open Visual Studio Code like that, and this should open my clone right there. So for my we are on which page? The Microsoft page. So Microsoft page data, we need this data right here, which is the learn more.js, which contains everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and then inside my data folder right inside here, I'm just going to paste it inside like that. Okay, and then I can now create another component inside my pages folder and inside the Microsoft page folder. I'm going to create a new file and call this learn more.js like that, and then I'm just going to say RAFCE, and then we need to import our data array. Now let me show you how our data array looks like. If you go into my data and learn more.js, you'll notice that it has the image right there, and this will not work because this needs to be /Microsoft like that. I think in the future videos I'm going to just correct this myself so that you don't have to keep doing this with me. So paste this in, oops, not a double slash, like that, and you'll notice that it has the title home and the link for learn more, which is basically all that we have here. So the home, the learn more, and the image is this right there. So let's do this. Let me go into my learn more component, and I'm going to import my data. So import data from, it's coming from I need to go up to folders, then data, and then learn more like that. And then I'm going to set up my state value. So I'm going to say const let me say items and set items. This is coming from react.useState, and I wanted to use my default data. Now notice that I'm importing it as data because I think I gave it a default export like that. So I gave it a default export, so I can call this anything I want. I can call this milk and it will still work. I just have to change this back to milk, but I want to call it data because it's more descriptive. So import data, and then inside here I want to return a fragment first of all, and then I want to return a section, and inside this section I'm going to be getting all the items, all the array items that I have available in my data. So all of these items, and then I'm going to be mapping over them. So I'm going to be looping over them essentially, and then I'm going to be destructuring and then displaying all of this that we get from here. So I'm going to say place curly brackets, and I'm going to say items.map, and for every item. So for every item means that for every item inside our data array, and you can see that we have so for every item I want to destructure a few things, and destructure the ID, the image, the title, and the link. The title and the link, and this is coming from the item like that. And then I want to set up my return. So I want to return let me say an article like that with the key of ID, and this key is mandatory because we are returning a list from the map method. And then I want to return first of all the image, and the source for this will be the image like that. The alt for this, I'm just going to set it to title in case the image fails to load. And then I'm going to return an H for saying the actual title. And then I'm going to return a button, right, saying the link. I'm not returning an href because an anchor tag, because React will throw us an error because technically our anchor tags will not be going to any page. right? So let me save this, and then I can import it in my app.js, and I'm going to just copy this and paste it, and this is called learn more. Now notice that I want the learn more to appear side by side with the showcase right there. So I'm just going to paste it on the same route. So for this route, once this route is the one navigated to, then I want the learn more to be shown as well. So once I save that, we can go back to application, and would you look at that, but the images failed to load. Why did the images fail to load? The images fail to load because I don't have the images. So let me go back to this, place this full screen, and then I'm going to go into my images Microsoft page. Oops. I'm pretty sure I got the images. Where are they? I'm pretty sure I got the images, and the reason why I'm sure is because this is available. This repeats actually in another page, but I'm not sure which page it is on this navigation. So let me see images deals page. What's the image that is called home? I just want the home. Not here, and it's not here. Support page. It has to be support page. I actually didn't get the images. That's interesting. Really? That's very interesting. I thought I did. My desktop, I'm looking for my Microsoft clone, and let's see, this is the data. This is the data. I want the images. It's not here, and it's not in the home page. No. For the Microsoft page, this folder is empty, and it's not here, and it's not here either. I guess I didn't. That's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to update it later, but for now let's just continue with what we have. So let me remove the image from showing, because we don't really need it now that the images, I forgot to add the images, so we just have a grid showing this. So let me place this to the side like that, place this here, let me close this sidebar, and then we can begin to style this. So for this section, I want to give this a class name of grid, and I want to say grid columns 1, and then I want to say give this a gap of, let's say, -10, so that this happens. And then actually, what am I doing? Let me say flex like that. Items center, justify center. Actually, no, let me say justify between, so that they go end to end, and then I can say padding on the x of, let's say, 20, and padding on the y of 10, which this happens. This is too much. Let me just say 10. Okay, and then for this button, I want this to have a class name of underline, and then let me say text blue -500. This happens. Okay, and we need a chevron. Let me see if I can add the chevron. The icon is called FA chevron right, and I need to import it. So let me just grab this, and I think I installed React icons, right? Yeah, I have React icons, so we can use it. And I'm going to say import this from React icons /FA. Let's save this. Let's see how this looks, and it looks like that, which I don't want, so I'm going to say flex right there. We should push it inwards, and then items center, we should bring it down like that. And then right inside this icon, I want to give this a class name of text extra small so that it reduces the size of the icon, like that. And then for this h4, let me give this a class name of font bold, just like that. And it's looking very nice, looking very nice. So that's pretty much it for this. Oh, this doesn't have an underline by default, so I'm going to say on the hover, then place the underline, so that it should look like this. Okay, let's see. We need to add this. Oh, I think this is also available in the home page. Let me just confirm this. In the home page, I think it's called social. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this down like that, and it should appear like that, looking very nice, very simple. So actually, let me just create this section. I'm just going to call it video, so that it has a bit of content on this page. So right inside this Microsoft page, I'm going to create a new file, call this video.js, and I'm going to say rafce, return a fragment, and then a section like that. And then I'm going to return an h tool, and I'm just going to copy this, copy, and paste it inside there. And there's not much that we're going to do here. All we need to do is now import this into our app.js. So we import this, call this video, and then just render it by saying video, like that. And we should see this, which is not what I wanted, because I want this to appear on top of this. So bring this above that, like that, and this happens. And then inside my video, let me now close this down, because I think we are done with them. Right inside this h2, I'm going to say class name of text-center. Let me bring this to the side, like that. And then I'm going to say font bold and text 4XL. And then for large screens, I want the text to be 6XL. And this happens. Oops, that's too big. And then let's say padding on the X of 20, so that it pushes it inwards. Let's say 32. It pushes it inwards. Let me see. Let's say 42. No, 42 is not available, but 40 is. Let's say 56. Pushes this inwards. And then let's add some padding on the top and bottom as well. So PY, I'm going to say PY of 20, padding on the top and bottom, like that. And yeah, I think that will be it for this page, really. I think that really is it for this page. Let's see. We have this. We don't have the video, of course, but you know, that's to be expected. But in place of the video, I think I can add an image, but you know, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So for the next time, I think we are going to clone. Let me go back here. Next time we are going to be working on the office page right here. So if I click on the office page, we are going to be working on this page, which is quite a bit bigger. I chose to start with the Microsoft page because it's smaller and it's faster. So for the office page, we're going to do all this, as you can see, which really isn't hard. Look at that. This is the one that I was looking for. So doing it once, and we just have to copy paste it. Let me just see. Let me just confirm once again. For the office page, didn't I do all this? I guess I didn't. I'm just going to add the images, and then I'm going to commit them once again to GitHub, so that when you clone it again, then you'll have the images available to you. So thank you guys for watching. This was kind of a test stream, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you also enjoyed me losing a chess. But before you leave, please remember to like and subscribe, and you can follow me on the social media indicated on the bottom right, and I will see you in the next stream.